Hello, everyone, and welcome to Club Deck Corner here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. I am your host, Scott Carney, and I'm joined by a full house this week to go over a rather disappointing week for Rangers. First off, Ali Pearson, how's it going, mate?
A wee bit better since the other night, but just need to dust ourselves off and get ready for tomorrow night. So, not too bad.
Yeah, Scott Gebel, how's it going?
Hey, hi, yes, similar to Alice, starting to come out the mood that I was in pretty much all day yesterday.
Yeah, and Jamie Lowe, how's it going, mate?
Hi, I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good. Getting there. Getting there. Yesterday was brutal, not going to lie. It was tough, man. Really down about it all day. I'm still probably down about it. As I say, this probably won't be the most positive of podcasts to start off with anyway, because we need to go over defeats for Rangers, and let's be honest, lads, it's kind of new to us, this getting beat thing, especially over the last kind of 12 months or so. But yeah, since we last spoke on our last Club Deck Corner, we thought the first leg to Malmo was going to be the wee bump in the road that we were expecting, and then Rangers would kick on from there. And who would have thought that we're sitting here two defeats, with two more defeats onto that. Obviously, defeat to Dundee United on Saturday, and then the disaster that was Tuesday night. As I say, we'll briefly touch on the Dundee United game. I think it's important too, since we've not actually spoke about it on Club Deck Corner. Ali, it was huff and puff, but we couldn't blow the house down, really.
Yeah, and we all knew how Dundee United would play against us. They always come and play the high press against us. Every game we played against them, they play the high press all the time, and it worked for Dundee United this time. We looked shaky at the back, which, when you go on last season, conceding 13 goals, I just thought we looked, every time Dundee United put us under pressure, we just looked shaky at the back, and midfield didn't work. I know I touched on John Lundstrom. I know we need to give him time. We do need to give him time, but I didn't know what he offered in that midfield. I was sold on him as a box-to-box player. I've not seen it. Too many safe passes. And up front, a Dundee United goalkeeper had really nothing to do, to be honest. Goldson probably had the best chance with a header that he probably should have scored from. And that was about it. Dundee United deserved to beat us. It was a bit of a fluke goal, to be honest, but yeah, like you say, we huffed and puffed, and I think we could have played all night against Dundee United and not scored, and they deserved the result, to be honest.
Yeah, it was a bit of a fluke goal. Jamie, your thoughts on the match? As me and Scott were obviously on the post-match, and I think we managed to stay a wee bit upbeat, I think, on the post-match from Saturday. But what was your thoughts on it, mate? I suppose the unbeaten run's obviously gone, but it was always going to happen.
It was always going to come. I think, like you said, we weren't expecting it to come away to Dundee United. So, really disappointing in the performance, as Ali's just mentioned. Kind of, just really frustrating, because, as you said, we expected that's how Dundee United would play, but I didn't really get going. And defensively, which I'm sure we'll come on to with the Malmo game, just not really sure what's going on at the moment, as in really don't look like the same side we did last year.
Yeah, Scott, as well, I'll come to you, mate. There anything really much more to add, apart from obviously we had the post-match, and obviously in hindsight, it obviously didn't set us up very well for the Malmo game, but is there anything more you want to add to it, man?
No, I don't think so. I think my comments after the game on Saturday remain the same. The only disappointment is I did say we reset and go again, and that'll lead us terribly into the next portion of this.
Yes, mate, that's quite a good link. I like that, mate. Yeah, we just thought, right, it was obviously not the best preparation for it. We did mention that it was, let's dust ourselves off and go again. So we will jump into Tuesday night. Obviously, we did a car pod reaction immediately as soon as we left Ibrox. Emotions were running high. We have had a wee bit of time now to let the dust settle, to analyse things. I have suffered the game back. I have watched it again just to see if I was right, and I think I was. I think the second half performance is one of the worst I've ever seen from this Rangers team under Gerrard. It is so bad, and it's so unlike what we've become accustomed to. And as I say, it was a hard watch to watch it back, but I say these things have got to be done. At today's press conference, Gerrard did make comment on the match on Tuesday night. He said it is my job to lead in these situations and flip the mood as quickly as we can. You have to use this feeling to react and put in a performance. The players, coaches and supporters all don't like this feeling, and it is about unity and sticking together. We have shown that we are our last 16 team in the Europa League in the last few seasons. We are disappointed with this week, but we move on to our next challenge. We need to keep improving every day and getting better and make that next step in Europe. Scott, I'll come to you first, mate. You weren't in the car for the immediate reaction that we done when we left Ibrox. What's your feelings now, a few days on?
Still really disappointed in the team, and it's an ongoing theme so far throughout the season. That we've not been good enough. We're just not in form. The minute I thought we started really well, came out the blocks, everyone was jumping for it. Ibrox was amazing at the start. The Union Bears put on a really good display. First 30-35 minutes, thought we were on top. I mean, we got the goal. We didn't really have many more clear-cut chances than the one for the goal, but we were in complete dominance. And then Malmo just started growing into the game, sort of getting a foothold on it. Then the boy gets sent off, second yellow card, and he gets sent off the pitch just on half-time. I've not watched the game back. I've not even watched this foul back, so I don't know if it was warranted or not, because I was sitting way up on the club deck, so it was pretty difficult to see at the time. But I've not watched it back to kind of confirm that. And then the second half starts, and you would expect that we were the team with 10 men, and Malmo were the team with 11 players. I mean, I don't know what went wrong. I don't know what's happening to us at halftime. We were terribly poor. I mean, I would give pass marks to Davis and Morelos out that whole team, and then everyone else didn't pull their weight. It's another calamity in defence, particularly for their second goal. I've watched that wee bit back, and I've seen all the kind of still shots, and we were just so poor for that. And I'd said on Saturday that I've had concerns about the defence recently, because Tav and Barisic aren't on it at the minute, and they were two of our best players at the start of last season, and this season they're not there yet. And we were terrible. And as soon as they get their two goals within about 5-7 minutes, they get their two goals, and I was like, yeah, well, that's us. I mean, we had nearly half an hour left to play at that point, and I knew in my heart of hearts that we weren't going to get the two goals that we needed to take. And the two goals would have been to take it to extra time as well. So yeah, it was a very, very disappointing night.
It was, mate. As I say, it was difficult watching it back, man. Just they say the second goal especially is just, it's so poor. I mean, everything about it, everybody's positioning was just wrong, and yeah, the boy turns far too easily and manages to get the shot away. And I was the same, mate. I felt the same when they scored the second. I remember turning round to my dad and went, this is that. I was like, we're not going to score two to even get this to extra time. There's no way it's going to happen, because you could see the attitude of the players. It is concerning, as I say. It's a wee bit worrying. I'm not like writing off the team before anybody thinks I am. I'm not. I think we are well within our capabilities of bouncing back from this, but for whatever reason, something's just not quite right just now, and it's something that we need to rectify very soon, very, very soon. So obviously the reaction has not been great from fans, but it was obviously to be expected. As you mentioned, Scotia, I think Morelos is the only real one that really gets pass marks for it, but whether he's putting himself in the shop window or not, I don't know, because of the amount of people that were watching. We really don't know. I was a wee bit harsh on Kent on Tuesday night. His ball to Morelos is a cracker for the goal, to be honest. But, I mean, that's the only thing he done. He didn't do very much else. Ali, it's a few days on, mate. How are you feeling?
Same as Scotia, to be honest. Just disappointed, to be honest. I can accept Rangers going out of Europe or getting beat if they give a performance and their team are better, and that wasn't the case. Rangers, especially at half time, we were all talking to each other in the concourse, and we were all saying it's looking good. They're down to 10 men. And I'll tell you what, that boy should never have been sent off looking at that back. That's never 2 yellow cards. And it's quite ironic that he's called innocent as well. So, but no, he should have been sent off. So we go to jail with that one. The McGregor one, I don't quite know the rules if he should have been sent off because he was
apparently the rules now are that it is a yellow. I don't know
right?
why,
Okay.
but yeah, it is now a yellow.
Well, that's fair enough. But no, we were all talking to each other saying we expect Rangers to come out as they did in the first half, flying and just take it to that team. And for some reason, they just sat off Rangers, and they looked drained, Rangers. I thought they looked really leggy as well, Rangers. As if they'd blown themselves out in the first 30 minutes. And Malmo the first 10, 15, I mean, the first goal was coming for 5-10 minutes. Everyone in the ground knew it was coming. We just looked shell-shocked at the back. We looked clueless, and you would have thought we had 10 men. And I also find it quite bizarre how Hollander didn't play. I know he's played probably Balogun because we're going to play the high press, and Balogun's apparently quicker. I thought Balogun played well the first half. I do think that, but at both goals, he was at fault. I think the second goal, particular too, he's turned too easy. I think if Hollander's there, he's left-sided. Hollander more balanced. I don't think that happens there in the second goal, but. After that, I'm the same as Scotia. I said in the podcast in the car, I said as soon as it went 2-1 Malmo, I knew in my heart of hearts as well, Rangers weren't scoring one, let alone 2 goals. There was I just couldn't see it. And like, at the moment, we're so predictable to play against. We just play in front of teams sideways. We play to Barisic, play to Tav, and the ball's into the box at time. Shocking at the moment. I know you says Bonnie Barisic must be wearing, that's not him basically, he must be wearing a face mask or something, but he's been very bad at the moment. I don't know what's wrong with him, I really don't. Tav's the same. You could go through a lot of them, to be honest, at the moment. Goldson, what's the contract situation in his head? We don't know. He looks like the player for 2 years ago, and I honestly thought I'd morphed back 2 years to Ibrox when we had that sticky spell, and it was like watching the same football again. It wasn't watching Rangers for last season, how we know they can play. It was a very, very disappointing night because we all thought we had a right good chance to do it and we should have done it. And you need to give credit to Malmo. We've probably not said it that much in the pods about Malmo, but well-organised team, adapted to 10 men brilliantly, and thoroughly deserved to go through, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I think you've got to give Malmo the credit for it. Jamie's, that's just a bit of a European reality check for Rangers, do you think?
It might be. We spoke about the Champions League being that step up. Just listening to you boys speak about that there, I was thinking back to last year when we played Benfica and they went down to 10 men. And we, as in very early on, and they looked a really quick, really slick passing side, and we capitalised on that. And I think that's the biggest thing for me is this, as much as it is a step up and a the next level, I still think struggling to sort of recognise the team in the way that we're playing, we're setting up, we're defending, we're passing. Coming out in that second half, I had similar feelings in that we'd obviously got off to a relatively good start. The first half was strong. Obviously got a goal. And I was hoping we were going to get another one actually just at the end of the first half. But I don't know whether it's a mentality thing or we simply just come out in the second half to almost sit in and counter for that second goal. But just similar thoughts in that a very disappointing defensive display. And yeah, I've not watched the game back yet. I've not heard Gerrard's interview, so but having heard what you just read out, I suppose Gerrard might be right. We might not be. We might be still 3 or 4 signings off of that level. Europa League is still a very difficult competition to go and compete in. So that may very well be our level for the moment.
Yeah, and I think in terms of what Gerard's saying, I mean, he's saying all the right things, I suppose, in terms of the way he has to and the way he has to approach the media with this kind of thing, because he knew the criticism was going to come. The Europa League this year is a lot harder than it was last year because it's been diluted down. So it's a smaller competition and there's better teams in it now, obviously, because of this Johnston's Paint Europa League conference thing that we've got now. So, yeah, as I say, it's going to be tough for Rangers. Obviously, the Europa League's, we can't really turn our nose up at it because it's still beneficial for the club and we can still make a good bit of money in it. And yeah, we've had good runs in it in the past. As I say, you mentioned Benfica there, Jamie. There is no way that Malmo are anywhere near what Benfica are. Do you know what I mean? But it's just...
I agree, and that's, sorry, Scott, that's kind of why I'm bringing it up, because even thinking about those sides, so even Ali saying about Malmo, they weren't. I don't think they're a better footballing side, but they were better than us over the two legs, right? But the issue I've got is we're unrecognisable. We touched on the Livingston game being 3-0 probably did flatter us, as in we didn't play as well as we probably could, and this season it's just been a wee bit underwhelming so far.
Yes, very much so. We'll touch on a few. Yeah, go for it, Scotia.
Can I just jump in to make a quick point, just something I forgot to mention? How much you miss a player like Jack or Kamara in a game like that. You could tell straight away, because the points Davis seemed to be the only one in the middle of the park. And we missed them so badly. I think Lundstrom was probably brought in to do that job. Don't know why he wasn't playing, if it was because down to his form recently hasn't been great. But we missed those players so much in games like this.
Yeah, I'd 100% agree, mate. I was just about to come on to a few pointers about the team and the selection. Maybe not the selection as such, maybe the changes that were made, with the substitutes that were made. Borna Barisic, okay? Now, I've seen people say it's not the same guy, or I've been saying that he's obviously not in form, he's struggling for form, he could be struggling mentally for all we know. Without being too extreme about it and throwing all the toys at the pram, if these players don't want to be here, if there's a problem with it, if there's anything at all that's going on and they've not got the motivation for this, they're not ready for it, Rangers should look to move them on.
Yeah, I've listened to a lot of other podcasts this week just to see what everyone else is thinking. We're all angry, obviously, and Barisic is one of the guys at the moment that's getting whipped by a lot of people. I've heard a lot of people say, just get rid of him. You can't just get rid of him. It's not as easy as that going to a football player. But you know what you get with Barisic. We all know, and it's the same with Tav. They're not great defensively, but what they do offer you offensively, overall, that's why they're good the way Rangers play. If they were good at defence and good at attacking, they'd be worth stupid money.
But to be fair, he is doing none of them.
I'm coming on that. But at the moment, he's not offering anything offensively in terms of his crossing, beating a man. He just doesn't look there at the moment. He looks like the Borna Barisic that we saw 2 years ago. And remember, he scored that free kick against St Mirren, and then he never looked back. He kicked on. He looks like that player that just looks like a player with no confidence at the moment. And Big Shirley's obviously there on the side, and we'll obviously probably come on to the team for tomorrow night. But Big Shirley's probably looking at that. And to be fair, he's actually played quite well in pre-season. Big Shirley's dead raw, to be honest. His final ball's not that great, but he's still quite young. You'll learn. He's probably chapping Gerard's door, saying, when am I going to get a shout here? Because he's not been great, Barisic. He's really not. And Taft, to an extent as well, he's not started the season well. I mean, you could go across the whole back line, to be honest. You could go through a lot of players, but in terms of Borna Barisic, I think we need to pull him out. I don't know if he's got a niggle or anything. He hardly played at Euros. I think he had a back injury or something, but I know we've not said our teams yet, but I'd pull him out for tomorrow night. I really would, because he's not there at the moment. He's not the Borna we all know.
No, he's definitely not, mate. And I think it's slightly concerning, the fact that he does look like that guy that we were all ready to get rid of. Everybody wrote him off. Do you know what I mean? Pretty much every podcast that I'd listened to at the time had said, no, he's not good enough. He's not the guy we thought he was when we signed him, and we were all ready to kind of ship him on. Scott, I was listening to a podcast today. I'm sure it was the preview pod on Heart and Hand. Stephen Harrigan made quite a good point. We're chasing a goal, okay? And we don't bring on a 6'2" striker, 6'3" striker that we have sitting on the bench and it's Cedric Itten. Does that say everything that we need to know about what Gerrard thinks about Itten?
It could, but if we're being honest, see at that point, the crosses that were going into the box every time Tav hit one, it was just hitting the defender. We weren't getting anything into the box. But at the same time, we brought Sakala on, but we weren't playing through them. So we weren't being able to use Sakala's pace at that time. So it could slightly, the fact that Itten wasn't on, because if you're chasing a goal, you bring on another. You would like to think you bring on another striker who's had a really good pre-season, can hold, and he's held the ball up really well. You know, he's not like one of these big dafties that holds the ball up with 3 or 4 touches. He holds it up very quickly and gets people into play. So I was surprised not to see him, to be honest. So yeah, Stephen Harrigan's right.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think just when he mentioned it, I was like, it hadn't even really crossed my mind. But obviously, by the time these substitutions were getting made, the game was gone anyway. So I don't know how much relevance there is in the substitutions that he actually made. But it was an interesting point. I just thought it was an interesting point to bring up. So in terms of as well, even John Lundstrom as well, he wasn't brought on. As I say, again, I don't know if it's down to his form or what. It's a bit of a confusing one just now. But we'll move on to the last kind of wee bit negative that we need to talk about regarding Tuesday night, and it's the ticketing shambles that happened. Now, for anyone that doesn't know, I'm pretty sure everybody does. There was a lot. I don't know the full number, but there was a lot of people that couldn't get in using their smart card or their QR code or whatever they had. The queues at the ticket office were rather large, and I think some people missed the majority of the game, and I think some people even missed the full game. Now, the fact that Rangers haven't come out and said anything about this yet, at the time of recording anyway, they've not come out and said anything regarding this. This is not good for the club. They have to get this right. They knew this was going to happen. They could have had it sorted long before now, and I think the club need to come out with the very least an apology around it. Jamie, what's your thoughts on the whole ticketing shambles that happened?
Yeah, I don't know whether we're trying to do too much too soon with the whole. I don't know whether it is linked to MyJers or the whole ticketing sort of priority thing. I guess until the club come out and actually explain what's happened and why, whether it's been seats double sold or confusion in allocating tickets or people picking tickets up. It's obviously really disappointing. Such an important fixture, important night. People making the effort to get across. We obviously queued for quite some time to get in. I've got friends that either didn't get in or had queued and didn't get in until half time. So yeah, really, really disappointing, and it's something that the club really need to focus on and really get right. Whether it's there's a couple of things, but ticketing especially is a very straightforward thing. You'd like to hope they properly invest some time and money and properly get it right.
Yeah, Ali, I'm a wee bit shocked that the club didn't come out and address this yesterday morning, to be honest.
I thought they'd be out. I mean, I texted all you lads literally the day of the game about that wee video that I seen online about how to use your card, and you didn't put it in anymore, you tapped it now, and there's probably a lot of people in that queue that probably didn't watch that video or they've not seen it, and they might have, for all I know, went to put their card in the mouth of the machine as you would do previously, and it wouldn't work. Because if you did that, it wouldn't work. You had to tap it. So there was probably people in there that did that. But I know a lot of guys on Twitter were saying no, they were tapping it, wasn't working. Some QR codes weren't working. It's a bit of a fiasco. There's a lot of guys that were in that queue that didn't get a ticket till 10 minutes or 80 minutes of the game or something. A guy online actually got one when it was full time. And it's like, and these guys have paid 29 quid for tickets, and we've had 18 months to gear ourselves up for this to get it all ready, and it's not good enough. I thought Rangers would have been out quite sharpish with something to say, look, we're looking into it, at least to give us something, and the silence is deafening. They need to come out, Rangers, and they need to these guys that didn't get in, that they should be compensated for it, because Rangers have taken, I know we're on the CCs, £29 out your account, £20 tomorrow night. The game next Thursday at Ibrox, what's that going to be? 25 quid possibly? I don't know. So it's coming thick and fast out of accounts, and they need to get the service bang on. And the ticket office is a shambles. The ticket office, the website, trying to get through to customer service, the whole thing's a shambles. Hopefully when it moves from the portal cabin, it will get better when Edison House gets built and they move the ticket office. But I know Scotia was up because he lost his season ticket and he get actual paper tickets to go in with. But it just gives me the fear. Scotia always have a laugh, and we've been saying it for years and years. We go up and with the cards, and we've always got the fear that it's never going to work, and it does for us, to be fair. But no, it was a it was a shambles on the park and off the park, which I've heard quite a lot of people saying. It's not good enough, that.
Yeah, you literally just took the question that I was about to say to Scotia. It sums up the ticket fiasco, sums up Rangers' performance on the pitch as well, doesn't it? Really?
Yeah, it wasn't a great night all round. In my experience with it, as Ali mentioned, I couldn't find my smart card, and I was held it off for ages and ages, just thinking it'll turn up somewhere. But I don't think it's really been out of my wallet since the Braga game way back in March 2020. Or clearly it has, because I can't find it. So I emailed the ticket centre on Tuesday morning just to say I'd lost it. But on the website it says the ticket office will open at 5 o'clock. But then Jamie had said that there was folk going into it earlier in the day and stuff like that. So that communication there's not great. But I got up for about 6 o'clock. The queue wasn't too bad by that point, and I was maybe in the queue about 20 minutes. And then I gave my Rangers number, my address, my date of birth. And they printed me off 2 tickets for last night and the game tomorrow night. They say that my tickets, the smart card, should arrive in the post at some point next week. Now it better be before Thursday night. But so my experience wasn't terrible, but that doesn't take away from the excuse that they've got for everyone else that are sitting there. And it was down to the Copeland Road at one point, the queue, and stretching down onto Govan Drive and things. The ticket office isn't fit for purpose at the moment. It needs to get upgraded. And then one of the big things that I've got an issue with as well is ever since they've got rid of the attendance in the turnstiles, and it's just the contactless thing or your QR code or your paper scanning ticket. There's only usually one person, if that, in that area. So if something goes wrong, there's no one to speak to about it. They've just got rid away all the people that could maybe help you out, and then people are going, oh no, you need to go around to the ticket office, and then that queue just builds and builds and builds. Not great.
No, not great. I 100% agree with you, though. There should be more people there to help it, and no disrespect to the guys that do work with Rocksteady, if that's even who it still is. I'm not sure who the company are, but it's not their fault, do you know what I mean? But they've got their manning sometimes 4 turnstiles, do you know what I mean? And then it's just, people are obviously going to get frustrated with it, and the response usually is, oh, you need to go to the ticket office, and you're like, well, no, it's 15 minutes before kick-off, and the queue round there is going to take me at least till half time to get seen. It's not good enough at all. The club definitely have to come out and respond to this, and it's a bit disappointing that they haven't already. As I say, they are so quick to take the money off you when in terms of tickets and how many Castor emails you get and how many jackets you've got and how much you can spend. And we still don't even have our new My Jers packs. Do you know what I mean? I paid for My Jers months ago and I still don't have my new My Jers pack. Do you know what I mean? So you get yours, Scotia. You get yours.
All right. Yeah, VIP.
I wasn't quiet.
Yeah. So
what's it got in it? What's it got in it?
I was in it. I forgot.
Let's go. It's got a wee. I think it's a coaster.
For everybody that's listening to us, by the way, not watching, Scotia has just held up that he's got the My Jers pack.
It's got like a couple of wee badges. what looks like a big bronze poster, I'm fairly sure. And then there's a wee booklet. And I've not had a chance to go through the booklet today because, as I say, it arrived about 12 today, so I've not had a time to sit down and
Did
go
you get
through
a new My Jers card with it as well?
Yeah, there's a new My Jers card there.
Okay.
Well, there you go. You're the first person I know that's got it, Scotia. So, and you live in the middle of nowhere, man, and you've managed to get yours. So, yeah, that seems promising for me, to be honest. Keep that card safe. Yeah, I know it's not like Scotia to lose things, is it? I thought it would be
well,
one.
I've only had it about 6 hours. So
you've probably had about 3 phones in the last 6 hours, to be honest. But yes. Anyway, we'll move on from that. But we'll move on to the transfer speculation that's now going to come up due to the fact that Rangers are not be getting into the Champions League group stages, and the one that's come about pretty much since the full-time whistle on Tuesday night is Alfredo Morelos. Now, there is no doubt Alfredo Morelos is one of, if not the biggest sellable asset that Rangers have. He performed very well in the Champions League match against Malmo for the majority of the match anyway, while Rangers were in the game. And he's been performing well in Europa League, obviously. So there is obviously rumours that Porto have put in, are coming in with a fresh bid. Again, it's Gerrard's press conference today. It's pretty much said there is a price for everybody. Everybody has their price, and if the price is right, then obviously the board will look into it and obviously come to him regarding it. Jamie, I'm going to come to you because he's your boy. Yeah, we all love Alfredo, but you especially love Alfredo. It does look like he could be going now.
Yeah, sadly, but I suppose just like the unbeaten run, like he's not gonna stay forever, and the club will move on. Let's be honest, Alfie's a guy we paid £1 million for. He's done very, very well for us. We've spoken about the sellable assets. We don't want anybody to leave, right? There's obviously players who are off form at the moment, but who's going to buy our off form players? If we're needing to bring money in, and as you say, he is our most sellable asset. It does look inevitable, sadly. But what I will say is, since he's come in, he just brings something completely different. We've obviously got Roof, Itten, Sakala, Defoe, who can play in those positions, but he just offers something completely different. He's just that class above, and when it comes to the bigger fixtures, he's just someone we rely on so heavily. So, be very, very sad to see him go, but I think it is inevitable, sadly.
Yeah, I think it is kind of looking that way, and it's just how quickly these rumours started to kind of circulate pretty much from full time. This difference he makes to our team is it's so obvious, it's so clear. The determination that he has, the willingness just to keep battling and keep going and winning the daft wee free kicks when Rangers in a bit of bother. We don't have anybody else in the team that can do it the way Alfredo does. Ali, what's your thoughts behind this paper talk, or do you think there could be potential in it? I mean, it's rumoured around €15 million, apparently, from what I've seen. It's kind of circulating in Portugal, and obviously the mainstream media over here has now got a hold of it, but it is circulating now between Rangers fan media as well.
Yeah, and we've heard it all summer. We've heard it for the last 2-3 years with Morelos, to be honest. I mean, I wouldn't believe it till Rangers post a tweet saying he's gone and I see him with a scarf above his head with someone else, but he's going to go. I think, what's this, his 5th season with us now, Morelos? It's longer than I thought we'd have him, to be honest. The Champions League, exiting the Champions League, as long as we get through, I'm saying, if we get to the group stages of Europa League and get into the knockouts, you're probably missing a hole between 15 and 20 million in terms of not being in the Champions League. So somebody's got to go to kind of fill that hole. Rangers, we haven't sold anyone in it. And so Josh Windass was the last one I've gone on about with 3 million. But the way we run the club, it's not sustainable at the moment. We rely on European football money and player trading, so somebody has to go. he may well go Morelos. I mean, I've seen in his Instagram and Twitter and all that, he's posting photos of that goal the other night. So, I mean, he's always doing that. And I don't know, Morelos. I mean, they might surprise us and somebody completely random goes that we've never even thought about. It could go. And Gerard alluded it today. Everyone's got their price. Doesn't matter if we're in a Champions League or not. Everyone's got their price. But he did say they've had no concrete offers from anybody yet. But I think a lot of clubs will have a go at Morelos potentially and other players because they may look at Rangers not in the Champions League. They may think we could maybe get a cut price deal in Rangers players in terms of they may need the money. So I think it'll run up to the window with a couple of players. So I think somebody will go, but I wouldn't be shocked if Morelos stayed. I'll put it that way. I wouldn't be shocked if he stayed.
I would love him to stay. I think if it's maybe a decision that he has to make himself. Look, I don't think he's going to be able to go to a high end team in the English Premier League and get Champions League football that way. But Scotia, I think he's got every chance of getting into a decent sized European team that are also going to be in the Champions League. Is that fair?
Oh, definitely. I mean, just take England at the match. England's stupid what they do. I mean, did Burnley not sign a player for like £12 million from Stoke?
Yeah, something like that.
England, in terms of the football transfer world, apart from like your PSGs and Madrids and whatnot, it's ridiculous. But any other kind of club in Europe that's a decent size getting Champions League football, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me to see Morelos go to somewhere like that because he's good enough to go to somewhere like that and provide an impact. The problem you've got with a club like Porto is they'll get him, have him for a couple of seasons, and they'll double their money and what they would pay us for him.
And that's why you put a sell-on clause in, Scotia.
Yeah, it is, but it's because obviously Portugal's a lot more highly regarded in terms of the overall quality and standard of the league.
Well, that's probably correct, but is it not? Let's be honest.
Although I've got the St Johnstone game on in the background here, and they're still holding it 0-0.
Are they still?
That's right.
But yeah, I think you're right. I mean, obviously, there's every chance he'll go to Portugal. I think he would do great for Porto. I'm not going to lie. I think it would be a great move for him. Obviously, if the price is right for us, and it's right next door to Spain, and I think he's got a chance of getting in a. If he has a good run in Porto, he's got a chance of getting in a top 5 team in Spain, and then really the world's his oyster from that point on if he performs there as well. So, yeah, as I say, it's the one that seems to be. Coming to the forefront just now. It's the one that everybody's kind of speaking about. Ali, I'm going to come to you. We know there's ongoing discussions with Connor Goldson regarding a contract. Nothing's been signed yet. We also know there is an offer on the table for Kamara for an improved contract. Are they both going to sign?
$1 million question. Can we get them on the podcast and ask them? But no, I mean, Goldson was asked the question a couple of days ago, and he's basically said he's talking to the club with his agent. That's as much as he would say about it. He basically said he wanted to stay, but I don't know. Are the two of them waiting? Were they waiting for us to get a Champions League to then go, right, I'll sign a deal? You don't know. Goldson was my player of the year last season, right? I thought he was outstanding last season. But this season, he looks a shadow of the guy for last season. He looks uneasy in the ball a lot of the time. Too many mistakes. You'd like to think a contract situation isn't in his head, but I know a lot of people are thinking that, are putting two together and saying that in terms of maybe that's why he's not playing well. So I really don't know. But where would he go, Goldson? I don't know. I mean, Goldson would probably go down to English Premiership to a mid-table side, possibly. I couldn't see him going to a top 6 side in England. I couldn't really see that. He's a mid-range player, I would say, in the Premiership. Does he want to go there? He obviously will get more money. I don't know. Kamara's the one we've said for God knows how long is the one we all think is going to go. Again, it depends what he sees in the future, what he wants to do. Does he want to go to England? Does he want to go to Spain or Italy? I think Scotia said before. So I don't know with the two. I really don't know. And Goldson's only got a year left in his contract, so it's stick or twist with him at the moment. You don't know what you do with him because do you run down his contract? I don't know what his value would be with 12 months left at Goldson. I really don't.
No, I mean, the longer it goes on, the less his value becomes. If I don't know if he'll stay or he'll go. It's a difficult one. I immediately jumped to it being a problem with him on Tuesday night. Even obviously, my emotions were quite high at the time. But I mean, there's no arguing that this isn't the same guy that was playing football for us last season. Do you know what I mean? His standards have definitely dropped. His performance levels have definitely dropped. But again, so's the rest of the team. But I think because he's got this loading over him, then I think he should decide. If Rangers want to take the risk with him and let his contract run down and he leaves on a Bosman or whatever, then that's fair enough. But I'd never think that ends well, and I never think it's good for the player when he knows that his contract's running down, because you get that uncertainty of his future. So Scotia, what's your thoughts, mate? Goldson and Kamara, maybe not so much Kamara, but Goldson.
Yeah, I think I've been saying as the summers went on, I'm getting concerned about this. I'm getting concerned about this, and now the fact that we're out the Champions League for players getting bids put in for them for contract extensions and things like that. The fact that we're sort of out of the Champions League and hoping to get back into Europa League. Well, a lot of these players go, well, I've won the league now. I've played the Europa League X amount of seasons with Rangers. It's time for a new challenge. That's my big concern, that they want to move on. So I'm not sure what's happening with Goldson.
If you look across the other side of the city, and I don't like talking about them, but they've got the exact same issue with French Eddie up front. He's not turned up for them at all, and he's got 12 months left in his contract, and they're in the same dilemma as Rangers with Goldson at the moment. But what do you do with a player that... I mean, for all we know, Connor Goldson wants to stay. I mean, we are just speculating, but if he doesn't want to be here, Goldson, what do you do with him? Because he's only got 12 months left. It's a hard one. Because a lot of teams that maybe would want him will come in and go, we'll only offer you this because they know he wants to go. So it's a difficult situation for Rangers if they know he doesn't want to be there. But again, it's just speculation. We don't really know because we're not Connor Goldson. So
yeah, Jamie,
I don't think... Sorry, I was just going to say, I don't think it's kind of that he doesn't want to be there, because, yeah, he's not been playing great, but as you've all kind of alluded to, the form of the team isn't great. It's just the form of the team at the moment, which is maybe putting these doubts further into our mind and getting us more worried than we actually need to be.
Yeah, Jamie, you're the voice of reason, mate. Are we overreacting to the contract situation with Connor?
No, I do think it is related to the contract. I've seen Goldson's interview, and I do think he wants to stay, although there is obviously a negotiation at the moment, whether that's the monetary value, as in what he's been offered per week. He's either looking for more or he's looking for a longer contract. So there's some sort of meeting in the middle still to take place. I agree. We had a conversation about I was torn between Tav and Goldson, and Goldson played every single game last year, so I guess he does deserve to be one of the higher paid players. It's hard to disagree with that. Although from the outside looking in, and obviously being Rangers fans, we're obviously looking for players that want to play for the club, but I guess he's got a couple other things. He's obviously got a young family. So he's looking to probably get the last big deal for him, if we're being honest. He's obviously getting on in age as well. So if he's getting offers like you say, he's obviously wanting to secure something for his family, as well as I do think he wants to stay, but I do think it is impacting his performance, and I think it would naturally. I think it's obviously playing his mind. I think it is.
Yeah, I think it definitely is. As I say, I keep going back to it. So, and yeah, he's probably at the stage of his career now where it is now or never for him, I suppose. And it's really up to him now what he decides to do. I just don't think somebody letting their contract running down, knowing that they're leaving, isn't good for their mentality when they're playing football, because they don't really know where their future lies. But I suppose time will tell with that one. So we'll move on, gentlemen, to our next match. So another game under the lights on Friday night. Rangers take on Dunfermline in the League Cup. Kick-off is at 7:30, I think. Yeah, 7:30.
Yeah.
And it's on Premier Sports. I don't think it's on RTV unless you live outside the UK. I don't know if it even is on RTV at all, to be honest. Is it?
I don't know. Oh, it's on. I know you
think it
like
is.
it's on
It's on
Premier
Premier.
Sports. Yeah.
But so obviously it was a press conference today. Obviously we touched on it there earlier on that Gerrard obviously spoke to the press ahead of the match, and Kamar Roof was also there. It's good to see that Roof is back, and it's good to hear that his son is now back home after being in hospital. I thought he handled that really, really quite well. When he was getting asked the questions, it must have been difficult for him, but it's good to see him back, and hopefully his boy continues to get back to full health. Gerrard did say he was going to name quite a strong squad for the match, and has made players aware of how important the domestic cups are this season. Jamie, I'll come back to you, mate. Again, without putting too much pressure on it, Rangers have to win on Friday.
Yeah, they do. They do. And that message will be clear, as in obviously everyone that speaks to the media and after games, before games, they're all very everyone's very united in the message and their approach, and it is always one game at a time, but it will be made very clear as to how important the game is on Friday, and the players will hopefully want to go out and right the wrong of the last week or so. So yeah, it's absolutely massive. We spoke about wanting to add some of the domestic cups as well. So yeah, it's absolutely huge. Need to win. Must win.
It's a must win. Yeah, we're not over exaggerating it when we say that, Sco, shall we? It's a must win.
No, definitely, particularly after the results of the last three games. Yeah, if we don't, you think the last three games' reaction's been bad. If we don't win tomorrow night, then oh my god, it's going to be horrible.
It's not even worth thinking about that, isn't it? No, if Rangers make a mess of this tomorrow night, it will be horrific. I don't see it happening, to be completely honest. I'm not sure if an absolute drubbing of Dunfermline tomorrow night is actually going to change anything in the way people are feeling, because people are expecting it, which is always quite a difficult one to approach. I fully expect Rangers to, well, now obviously going on what Gerrard's saying, there's going to be quite a strong squad there, so you would like to think, no disrespect to Dunfermline, that we'll be able to manage anything that they want to throw at us. Ali, your thoughts on the game tomorrow night?
Yeah, it's massive. I mean, if we'd won against Malmo during the week and got through to Champions League tomorrow night, he probably would have rested half the team. I know the cups are really important this season to him because of what happened last season, but it's huge. And to me, he needs to play a really strong side tomorrow. We need to get momentum going, especially with the Celtic game coming end of the month. Obviously, we've got Alice Kerr that's been got through it now, so we've got them Thursday night. So we need to get a bit of momentum going, because we've had no momentum at all from pre-season into the new season now. So yeah, I know he said he will. I hope he does. I hope he does, because we need to get momentum going. We really do.
Yeah, we have to. We obviously have to perform well in a cup. I think it was good to hear him saying today that he's obviously going to name quite a strong squad for it, and he's made the players well aware of what this means to him and what it means to the club. And no matter what happens tomorrow night, Rangers have to go out there and put a bit of a marker down, snap into life a bit, get any of these problems out of them. Take the frustrations out on Dunfermline and put a performance in, and we'll win the game quite comfortably. So we'll go for we'll do our starting 11s. Who wants to go for? I'll go first. Okay, I'll go first. I think McLaughlin, Tav, Goldson, Hollander, Barisic, Lundstrom, Kamara, Davis, Kent, Morelos, and Aribo. The only one that I'm questioning a wee bit is Davis. I think he might play Kelly to give him a run out. Ali, do you want to go?
Yeah, I know I would personally play near enough our first team, but I don't think he will. I think he'll play. I don't like this bringing McLaughlin and McGregor back in and out, but I think he'll go with McLaughlin. I think the back line will be I think they'll stick with Tav, Goldson, Hollander will come back, and I think Bassey will come in at left back. Midfield will be Kamara, Davis, Lundstrom, I think, will come back in as well. And the top three, I think, will be Kent. I think Kamara Roof will play through the middle and he'll rest Morelos because he's played 2 games there. And I think he will play Hadji on the right and bring Aribo out.
Jamie?
I think he'll play McGregor. I think he'll go McGregor, Patterson, Goldson, Hollander, Bassey, Kamara, Davis, Lundstrom, Aribo, Alfie, and Kent.
Yeah, you're not far off me, mate, to be honest with that one. I think Aribo will play just because he's performed so well. I think that's really an argument for him. Scott, what's your starting 11, mate? What's your thoughts?
I honestly don't know. We could do a few.
Oh, that's brilliant for a podcast, Scott. Keep that one up.
Yeah. Excuse me. We could do a few changes, but I don't think there will be, particularly what he said about naming a strong. It's a strong squad, he said. So there might be some of the sort of first team picks on the bench. But the team I'd go for, I think, would be McGregor, Tav, Goldson, Hollander, Barisic, Davis, Aribo, and Kamara, and then Morelos, Kent, and Roof up top.
Just going to last season's team.
It's a very strong team. That's a very strong team. I would like to see that, to be honest. I just think he'll make Barisic play through this. Unless there's a serious problem with him, I think he's going to just try and make him play through it and hope that he snaps into life at one point. As you said earlier on in the pod, it took that one goal against St Mirren, wasn't it? He scored that free kick and then he didn't look back from that point. So maybe he just needs that. Maybe he needs a confident boost.
Yeah, I'd play Barisic. I know I said Bassey, but I would personally play Barisic for the exact point you just said there. Let him play through this. But I just got a feeling he'll play Bassey, but I hope he plays Barisic.
Yeah, just to give him a chance to get through it. Look, we all love Borna when he is being Borna Barisic, but it's hard for us not to be quite critical of players just now, just based on the week that we've just went through. As I say, it's been a tough week. It really has been, and especially the European one. The league one obviously is disappointing because of the way it happened, but the European one definitely hurts a wee bit more. But as I say, we'll move on to who are we playing? What's their name?
Alice Kert,
which is somewhere
Armenia, just beside Turkey.
So yeah, a very big, a decent flight away, to be honest. Not as far as, where was the other mob from? Kazakhstan?
Kazakhstan, yeah.
Yeah, so they went through tonight 3-2, is that right?
Yeah, Celtic pumped Alice Kert 2 years ago, 3-0 and 3-0, so 6-0 aggregate.
Well, say we'll wait and see.
I'm not counting in, yeah.
God, I know, you can't really make a prediction.
Are we doing a score prediction for the...
Yes, we are. I'll go 3-0.
I'm going to go brave, and like Scotia usually does, but here's a bit ridiculous, no doubt. I'm going to go 5-0 Rangers.
Well, Jamie?
8-8. I'm going to go 2-0.
No, Jamie.
Oh, God. Jamie's not confident. Scotia?
Firstly, I'm changing my team. I'm taking Aribo out and putting Hadji in.
Wait, come on.
Told you I wasn't sure. So Aribo's coming out and Hadji's playing. I'm going 3-1. Rangers.
What, 1? No, they're not scoring. Come on, I can't be having that. That can't be happening. Yeah, look, it's
just with the week
as big as they come. Yeah, you're right. It's as big as they come. Rangers have to go out and put in a performance tomorrow night. I don't think there's any doubt about it. Also, there is tickets available. I have seen that it's not sold out. I think there's about 40,000, so there is tickets still available on the website. But yeah, that'll do. As I say, not the most positive of podcasts for this week for our weekly show. But again, this is what it is. This is what we do. So we just need to now definitely go again, Rangers, and put in a bit of performance. So that, as I say, that'll do is Ali, thank you very much for your time, mate. You can go and watch the St Johnstone game now.
I would just say they've just equalised there, St Johnstone, to make it 1 each against Galatasaray at McDermott Park. So fair play to them. But no, I'm looking forward to being back tomorrow night and back in my seat again. And hopefully I see a performance for Rangers.
Yeah. Jamie, thanks very much, mate.
You're welcome, and I echo that. Looking forward to seeing the team back again. We'll see how our predictions got on. Cheers.
Yeah. Scotia?
Yeah, cheers. I mean, hopefully it's a wee bit brighter mood podcast after the game tomorrow.
Yeah, I hope so. I thought you were going to change your team again there for a second, Scott, because you hesitated. I was like, fuck, here we go again. But yeah, as I say, that'll do is we'll be back tomorrow night with some form of reaction pod after the Dunfermline game. Shameless plug as always. Please do like the videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, give us a wee 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, like and share anywhere that you can. It really does help support us. So Rangers, it's over to you now. Time for a wee bit of a reaction tomorrow night against Dunfermline. Always looking forward to getting back to Ibrox, and let's just hope it's a more positive week coming up for us. So until we speak to you again next time, we are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Cheers.